Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review. This is episode number 45, and this one I'm reviewing the 831st episode of One Piece Anime, The Broken Couple, Sanji and Pudding Enter. This episode adapts the entire 861st chapter of the manga. Not half the chapter, not 5 or 6 pages, the entire thing, all 16 pages minus the cover story. Interesting though the fact they did this. As of recently, this particular season, since I was reviewing this is only like the third time this has happened. The first time this happened was for that 1 hour episode that aired back in October, where they did the chapter of Luffy and Sanji fighting each other, which also caused Luffy to lose a tooth and him getting very beat up. Yep. The only other time I can think of was actually about a few episodes back, where it was the episode where they explained Benji's backstory. Yeah, where they got pretty much the entire chapter except for the last 2 pages, which that's interesting. The only theory I have of the reason why they decided to do the entire chapter this episode is because the series just celebrated 900 chapters, and the fact that, well, for this particular episode as of right now, they're only 39 chapters behind. So this is just a theory, is that to get to where they're right now, it will take, like, if they do this for pretty much the rest of the whole entire arc, just do one full chapter the entire time, which would be interesting if they do that. They could catch up with the manga, probably not really quickly per se. They can probably get to where they are right now, probably about a little over halfway this year if they keep doing like one chapter per episode. Yeah. As for the changes they made, they have it where it's mostly the same. They did make one small change when Sanji was doing his little bloody nose thing, because at one point in the episode he does his bloody nose thing, which he's been doing that since the time skip. He first started doing it in the Fisherman Island, and then pretty much like right after that. Actually, I think it was like during Sab Odi, I think it was, when he started doing the whole nose bleeding thing, which it felt like it had been a while since he actually had done it. So my guess is that Oda must like, okay, it's been a long time since he's actually done the whole nosebleed thing, and well, I guess they figured, oh, why not do it? Though the only change they make is they hit the ceiling instead of hitting a wall. Yeah, though this is particularly a bit unusual for a wedding. Now, when I think of wedding, because I've gone to many weddings, usually the bride and groom are not supposed to see each other the day of the wedding until the actual ceremony. But it's Japan. They do things differently. Though it's odd to see Pudding wear a traditional wedding dress, even though this is supposed to be Japan, and they tend to use Japanese-style stuff. I would have thought maybe they would have her wear a traditional Japanese wedding dress. But I guess this particular wedding dress is fine. I mean, take a look at Sanji. He's wearing a traditional American-style white suit. Yeah, even though if this was like in Naruto, when they had Naruto and Nada's wedding, they wore traditional Japanese kimonos. Here, it's like American style. I don't know, maybe Oda didn't like, maybe Oda wanted to do something different, despite like using Japanese style stuff in the actual thing. That's probably the reason why they dress this way. And they have a waiting room, which I have never heard of this for a wedding, where the bride and groom sit in the same room prior to the ceremony, because here that's not how weddings work. They're kept very much apart, and they do not see each other at the actual ceremony. Oh yeah, at one point, the episode, you see the Straw Hat crew all sleeping, with the exception of Jinbei. He's the only one who's not sleeping. Yeah, like you have Luffy just slouching in a chair, Nami sleeping on the floor using Chopper as a pillow, which I thought was so funny. Brook is leaning against the wall. Pedro is just having his arms on the table like this, and falling asleep. Carrot is just laying on the floor as well. Even though it's Carrot because of bunny ears. Yeah. Let's see what else. And they also, one point in the episode, there was this door, this homie style door, which is about to like be one piece of these people's life force. Yeah, this store I've been listening into all the information that pretty much has been given. So what did Benja's men do? Slice out the face off the door, just peel her face off the door, and just kind of kill off this character. This character really didn't have much to do except just open and close and just be uh, just listening in. Now it's probably I get the reason why that one of Benja's men did this. Vent image leaking out. Fine, whatever. Also, Teaser Clown pops up for like one scene where he brings out a mirror, puts it in a particular place, and it heads back inside of Benja's body. Yeah, though Benja still has Caesar's heart, which that has been that way since Punk Hazard. Yeah. Let me think. What else? Yeah, I thought it was really funny. Luffy was fooling around with Benja's body, just having fun. And then, in order to calm him down, Nami is the one who calms him down. Just hits him in the head and drags him back inside. It's weird, though, the fact he's made of rubber, and yet whenever Nami hits him, it actually hurts. Or his grandfather. But when everyone else hits him, it doesn't really hurt that much. Excuse me. I highly doubt because a lot of people tend to ship Nami and Luffy. I don't like that ship. I prefer him and Hancock better because that relationship works a lot better. Though she does care about Luffy a lot like an actual brother, but I highly doubt it is any more than just a brother and sister relationship. There's that. Well, Nami doesn't get any line. She gets like one line the whole episode. I mean, most of the Straw Hats pretty much, think except for sleep, and then pretty much they're just waiting for Luffy to wake up. And this is probably the second episode in a row where Luffy, aside from one scene getting some lines, yeah, he doesn't really get many lines. I would say of all the Straw Hats, Sanji gets the most lines for this episode. Makes sense. Now, as for what Luffy's plan was to basically sort of spoil the wedding, I'm not going to spoil what it is. It's actually quite funny because it's a callback to an early part of the arc when they first got to it. So I'm not going to spoil what it is here or what Luffy's plan is. It is by far one of the most hilarious things I have ever seen for ruining a wedding in a manga, which I'm sure they're probably going to adapt in the actual manga in the anime. Katakuri is in the episode. He doesn't get any lines. He doesn't do anything except sit next to his mother. Yeah, he's seen briefly. He's seen a couple times in the episode. He just doesn't do anything except sit there. Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's pointed out though he is the second son of. Now in the last episode he did get a couple lines. This episode he gets no lines at all. I mean, Big Mom gets a lot of lines. She was even asked, what's their relationship with Marta Carmel? And she doesn't tell anything about it. From what I know about in the manga, is that Marta Carmel was not that very nice a person. And even though Big Mom holds her in high regard, at one point, Mother Carmel abandoned her when she was 9 years old. Yeah, this is what is explained in Big Mom's backstory. I would not be surprised if they show this off in the actual anime itself. Also, there's a callback to Fishman Island where they bring in the treasure chest that she was given from the royal family. Here's kind of the thing about it, about that treasure chest. It has explosives in it. Yeah, it's got explosives. And she says she's going to wait until after they open up all the presents in order, like after the feast, when how should I put this? Before they figure what's actually in treasure chest. Now, apparently Pudding does get one present, but everything else is for Big Mom. Now, I get the fact she is the person becoming a mother-in-law again because, one of her kids are married. So, I would have thought, though, it's a wedding. You're supposed to get the bride and groom presents, not the future mother-in-law. I don't know why. I get the reason why at one point they addressed the German Sixic as the evil army, because that's kind of how they're portrayed, but here's kind of the thing. They don't seem evil, not at all. I mean, the three sons, the one that are genetically enhanced. Those three seem evil because, well, they're very, well, different. Judge doesn't seem evil, and definitely not his daughter. Yeah, definitely not. Also, one point, Ranja and Cinnamon, one of Big Mom's daughters, gets to have a brief conversation with her that lasts for good about 3 minutes. Yeah, it's a pretty good conversation. It's fine, serves what it was. Smoothie pops up in the episode for a quick cameo, along with Oven, his younger brother, his immediate younger brother, the fourth son. Yeah, it's like they show off like they did this little montage of a lot of Big Mom's kids. Like they show off like a small handful of them. Heck, they even show off her eldest daughter, and she's a minister of fruit. Okay, and she's kind of looked like her mother, where she's big and overweight. A lot of Big Mom's, with the exception of her, a lot of Big Mom's daughters are usually very lovely women. Yeah, a lot of the time they are. Like Smoothie, smoking hot woman. This woman, I'm not going to criticize her appearance, but yeah. Oh yeah, in case you're wondering, does she show up after this wedding? No, she completely disappears, and this is the first time I've ever seen the oldest daughter at all. Yep. And when the episode ends, they show off the bride and groom, like going up to the. Now they do show briefly at the beginning the priest is giving the bride and groom instructions, which, okay, fine. Now I get the fact they would do that for a day before the wedding, not the day of. But it's Japan; they do things differently when it comes to weddings. So, and apparently it's floating on a giant cloud. Oh yeah, and apparently this whole plateau that they're on is basically in the sky. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how Big Mom basically managed that. And they flew up there, and that's kind of how the episode ends. Yeah, it's a pretty good episode, and you can kind of definitely say this is basically the last prelude to the actual big action that's going to happen next episode. And yes, you do get a chance to see Pudding's gun briefly, and she's about to test it off. Yeah, she does her thing where she's throws off her third eye because she's a three-eyed human. Yeah, she's the first one actually shown in this series. Now, I do have a theory of what gave Oda the idea to do this. Probably TN from DBZ, because a lot of series tend to take their inspiration from DBZ, so that's probably where he took the inspiration from for creating the three-eyed human thing for One Piece. Took it from TN because he is a three-eyed human. Yep. And next week's episode, I didn't see anybody I thought I didn't see in a while, but it definitely looks like the action is definitely start next episode. Yep, and may get a chance to see, well, maybe Luffy's first encounter in the anime with Katakuri because, well, it's probably going to have pretty much the same in the anime. Well, start with next episode. It'll be chapter 862 they're going to adapt. But as to how much they're going to adapt, I'll find out next week. Okay? So, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for next week for episode number 46, which that episode is called A Deadly Kiss. A mission to assassinate the Emperor kicks off. That is the name of the next episode. Alright? But today I do plan on doing a review for the newest the last chapter for Hunter x Hunter. That's planned for today. The newest chapter for Attack on Titan and a couple Comic Corner episodes. And I'm still working on Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. As of right now, I have like 19 episodes to go right now. So possibly sometime today my can't set up. Either today or tomorrow. Depends on what time I finish up. It review wise probably will be, could be today, could be tomorrow, who knows. But definitely before I go to work yet. Alright. But until I see you in the next video. Bye.